Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matthew Nichols. I'm an auctioneer who operates a market in England at Hereford Market. We also operate two markets in Mid Wales, namely Talgath and Builth Wales, which is just in that direction. I'm now sat actually on top of the Beggins, which overlooks the stunning Wye Valley, and we're looking now towards the Black Mountains, and you can clearly see Hay and Wye, which is just in the distance there, situated right on the Welsh border. The Cusap Hills, which is now in Herefordshire, and you can see Herefordshire spans down the valley and out towards the Clee Hill. As many of our farming clients and colleagues will know, the Welsh Assembly and their Deputy Minister has announced a hard border between England and Wales, particularly in respect of cattle and sheep movements. Yes, it is now confirmed that the lunatics have taken over the asylum. The Deputy Minister has taken no notice of the plight and the impact that this will cause to Welsh and English farmers both sides of the border and throughout the country. The economic and the welfare issues that this will create could be catastrophic. This means that from the 1st of July, no sheep or cattle can move from England into Wales unless they have been clear pre-movement tested at a cost of somewhere in the region of £60 to £70 per head. Yes, that is between £60 and £70 per head. Per ewe, per lamb, per calf. A completely unsustainable cost that even England has recognised was unsustainable, both in terms of cost and resources, hence why they put England in one zone. There are literally hundreds of thousands of cross-border movements every year that span the width and breadth of Wales and England, and particularly at this time of year as we get to the busy breeding season. The cost of testing cattle and sheep to move from England into Wales would literally run into tens of millions of pounds at the cost of the farmer. The most ridiculous part about this situation is that regardless of whether the sheep have been or cattle have been vaccinated, they still cannot cross that border. This actually takes some believing. An absolutely crazy policy, and gives no encouragement whatsoever to any farmer to vaccinate, because what is the point of doing it? If you vaccinate, you still can't move the sheep across the border. I cannot understand the sheer stupidity of this policy. Now, if we look towards the Black Mountains, the border between England and Wales goes straight over the top of that hill. There are thousands of sheep from English and Welsh-based farms that border that hill and are mixing and crossing or roaming the border every day of the week, every hour of the day, that can be gathered and go back to their English or Welsh respective farms. There is no hard border up there, and there never will be. The policy is a complete and utter farce. I am now looking at the border down the Wye Valley. There are no nets, there are no impermeable membrane that stop the midges flying back and forth. There are in the region of 550 farms along this Welsh and English border that have land in both England and Wales. This is going to cause complications and upset all the way along the border. There are other farms in Wales that have separate land in England that is registered on the same Welsh holding, but it could be that land could be 10 miles within the English border. What are they to do? What's the policy there? We have no idea. We have one Welsh farming client that also owns land on the Herefordshire Plains, whereby he autumn and winter keeps his ewes and his ewe lambs. This land unfortunately can flood, whereby on some occasions he may only have 12 hours notice to move those sheep back to his Mid Wales farm. He has to license those sheep back to his Mid Wales farm. Those 400 ewes that he has down there, it would cost £24,000 to test these sheep, to post-test or pre-movement test these sheep. A completely unsustainable cost. The devastation that this hard border is going to have to our local shows is going to be devastating. We've already seen what's happened to the Royal Welsh. The little local shows that happen in this area, it could even wipe them out. The Welsh Assembly do not understand the dynamics of the Welsh and English cross-border industry. They are trying their level best to destroy this industry. Look how beautiful this all looks, and it is down to our farmers that it looks this way. So if you know anybody that has any influence with these people in the Senedd who have the power to make these policies, please do your level best to lobby them so that we can get this border opened up. The disastrous consequences that this is going to have for our Welsh farmers, for their ability to source and sell their breeding stock, will be enormous. As things stand, this is effective from the 1st of July. Welsh farmers will still be able to sell their fat lambs and their cull ewes in an English market, at Hereford Market. They can still sell their breeders, but they cannot bring anything back. So anything they don't sell, they cannot bring back unless it's tested. The Welsh farmer won't be able to source any breeding stock whatsoever from England unless it's tested, and let's face it, at £70 per head, nobody's going to test the sheep. To help our Welsh and English farmers try and source breeding stock, store lambs, baby calves, it now looks as though we will hold such sales in Builth and Taldworth markets, alongside our regular sales at Hereford. This, unfortunately, still does not help the Welsh farmer source any breeding ewes, tups or cattle from England, but this is the ridiculous policy we are now faced with. Both myself and my colleagues are happy to be contacted to try and advise and assist, and just there to be, just to have a general chat with. We do understand the mental health pressures in this industry and are all too frequently reminded of them. But obviously the people in the Senedd have no idea, or simply don't care. I don't know which it is. We are here to chat and support you, and we'll do our level best to help mitigate the impact of this ridiculous border. We are in it together, and we'll get through it together, even if we do come out battered and bruised. Diolch yn fawr and pob lwc.